How's my lighting? Hi, guys.
How's my lighting? Hi, guys.
Oh, let me mute myself. Hold on.
How's my lighting? Hi, guys. Oh, let me mute myself. How's my lighting?
There we go. There we go. How is everyone? Let me know if you can hear me okay. I am late. I am sorry. I am habitually late, y'all. I apologize. That is just who I am. I own it. Hi, Fedora. Hey, Joe. Hey, Wraith. I'm calling you Mad Hatter because I'm not going to mess your day up again. Hi, everyone. How are you doing? How are you guys? How is everyone handling this self-distancing? How are we feeling? Joe, I am always late. Like, if I got my sister on the phone, she would tell you. She tells me times way, way ahead of time just so that I show up on time because, bruh, that's why I am so blessed and lucky that I make my own hours because, man, regular hours, I was late all day. That was always something I had to deal with. And it's just, oh, man. But I hope everyone's okay. Oh, you're not okay, Mad Hatter, what's going on? People around have no idea of the difference between social distancing and social climbing. Introvert, social distancing is something I normally do. Facts. And it's hard because I am such an introvert that I have to catch myself to make sure I'm not isolating too much because that is detrimental to my mental health. Because I have no issue just disappearing and you do not hear from me. Like, no lie, my personal Instagram, I haven't posted in like over a year. People probably think I'm dead or something. Well, they don't think I'm dead. Let's not put that out there. No, knock on wood. But you know what I mean. I'll be okay focusing on writing. I did nothing but write. You will, but you already know I'm gonna like kind of lecture you. Reach out to your providers if you're able to. I know, like I keep telling everyone, a lot of us are open. Reach out to them, talk to them if anything, if you need to. But I'm glad you have that coping skill of writing to help you out. I know coping skills, we're going to have to lean on those hard. Like we are going to have to lean on those hard right now. Like, only thing that's given me saving grace is the fact that I have to still work. That's the only thing that's kind of helping me. I just saw my supervisor Friday and, you know, they're still kind of pushing, make sure you hit your numbers during this time. And that's why I hate capitalism, okay? Capitalism trickles all the way down to mental health. And I'm just like, bruh, we're really worried about billing? Like, can we just make sure our clients are okay? But nope, they are like, I guess people have been asking, like, are we going to close? Are we going to close? And they're just like, nah. We provide services, people. Handle that. Like if you need to take care of your kids, use your time off, but we are not closing. This is what we do. So I'm just like, hey, are y'all keeping in mind that this is happening? Because, you know, I have an evaluation this month. I'm hitting my anniversary at my job. I'll be there 4 years. Like, y'all aren't going to sit here and try to use this as a way to not give me my raise, are you? Like, capitalism. See, even me worried about my raise, capitalism. I have no issue with isolating. I'm low-key a queen of isolation, facts. But living in a big city means I could do whatever I want, whenever I want, but by myself. Now I can't do it, but oh well. That is hard, especially because you guys are like super, super locked down. I think that's what's making it a little hard for a lot of people is because every like state is taking it differently. They're doing things differently, which is something I'm definitely paying attention to. Like my governor just sat here and was like, oh, bars aren't important. Let's close that. And I'm like, oh. And then like Fedora's chick was talking about, she hit me up on Twitter and was like, yo, I'm surprised you guys had your elections on Tuesday. And I'm like, I'm not. It was Democratic. I am a red state. We are very Republican out here. It was a Democratic primary. They didn't really give a flying crap. Like you could tell there were ones who did care and they wanted to postpone it and wait. But the majority, they're just like, nah, go handle that. You guys will be fine. Yeah, capitalism at its finest, facts. And for anyone, well, let me just do an intro. Welcome to my live. Anyone who is new here, I'm Journey to Find K. I usually react to The Rewired Soul, but talk about mental health because I'm a mental health patient worker and advocate. Don't be afraid to hit that like button down there if you enjoyed the stream. I do have other ways you can support me, which is my Patreon, which is a link in description. And I think that's basically it. I do have my mod here, Fedorchik, if you don't mind throwing those up into the actual chat. That is awesome. But I want to make sure I give a little intro real quick before, I get too distracted in having conversation with y'all and checking in. Let me see what else y'all said. My mate set a girly night out once a month and make sure I'm always there, although can't do that now. See, it's hard. Same, still working, will work all the way through unless I have to isolate. Yep. And it's something that I have no real issue with because one, I know how lucky I am to be able to work in a field where they're like, no, you got to keep working. But it's also, if I'm not helping my clients, then no one really would be. I have high risk clients. I just saw one and I only see them for serious things. They want us to really do a lot of our interactions over the phone. But some of my clients, they need help with doctor's appointments or they need a food box, which is what I was mainly doing this week. And one of them, he was high risk, did not understand his, the seriousness of what was going on, him not being able to leave the house like that. I was like, no, this is what I'm here for. I feel like we're going to be, locked down a little bit for a while. If you need help again, let me know. I'll go do it. You stay home. And man. Hi, fisherman. Welcome. Thank you. It is. And honestly, I'm not going to lie. I sat here for a minute and wasn't taking it too seriously. I wasn't as scared. And right now I'm not, because I always live in anxiety as it is. I'm an anxious person. Hello. I do have the diagnosis. Super anxious as it is. So adding this to it hasn't filled my bucket, but I am taking it a lot more serious now, especially because before it was just it's over there. It'll be fine. We don't have that many cases. But as I sit here and I keep seeing schools staying closed, I'm seeing businesses closing down. I'm seeing all the news coverage around it. I'm okay, we should have been handling this a long time ago. Oh, I'm buffering. Let me get on my better Wi-Fi. Hold on. Let me see. I'll get on my bed. My partner's playing video games. My child is playing video games in his room. We kill. And that is one thing I want people to know too. I don't know what you guys are doing over in UK and Canada, but most of us in America, if you have internet, you have a cell phone, just know, I've been paying attention to that for my clients as well. They're not disconnecting anyone's services. A lot of people who are, low income have the lower tiers of internet. They've been boosting those up as well as in speed, because as you can see, that's what we have to do. That's what everyone relies on is the internet. She said, I didn't give an F until a week and a half ago. Same. Yeah, at first I thought it was not as serious as it was when I realized shit's getting bad. Yes. But we'll get into that in a second. What's making me mad is these people act oh man, schools in the UK are closed until September. They will rebook at opening end of April, but they say until, I'll relook. I know what you mean. I saw it. Yeah, we just got an email. Well, actually, no, our governor decided, him and the superintendent of the schools did a whole press conference saying, nope, we're extending it till April 10th. So I told my son, April 10th, I don't think you're going back to school. And he was like, okay. He's sitting here just cool. And I'm no. Because I'm not going to lie, this first week, I'm trying to get acclimated to him being home and trying to see what we're supposed to be doing at work. I have not really been enforced it. Let's sit down and learn right now. I told him, okay, you think everything's just chilling? I said, no, we're going to sit here and actually do some schoolwork now. I see this being not until next school year, starting back up. We're not going to be playing no more. Hey, Casey. Welcome. I called it a glorified flu. Same. I did too. It's everyone's tripping for no reason. I know It's serious, but I know we will get through it because we've had this type of stuff happen before. And that's where I get into my other point where it's like, man, trying to get necessities, these people panicking the way they are, buying things that they are, is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And it's one of those moments where I really wish I could just stop everyone and be like, hey, let's do some calm breathing real quick. Let's really sit down and evaluate, do we need this? Or am I acting out of fear, anxiety? What are we afraid of? Let's break down this feeling really quickly and address that. And then look and say, do we need 12 packs of toilet paper? Do we really feel that is necessary? No? Okay, then. Oh, my parents are getting chickens again due this week. They're building. Oh, nice. See, that is one of my dreams. That is something I would love to do. When I get a house, even though I live in the desert, I want to have my own little farm area. That's something, because then you ain't got to worry about nothing. I'm sitting here I got to go back. They said 2 weeks. We're about to have to go shopping again. I only shopped for about 2 weeks. I literally thought 2 weeks we would be cool. The way these grocery stores are looking, Has a kid who broke his arm. Oh, wow. Today is lucky. It's challenging in groceries here. It doesn't help that they're hoarding so bad. I remember just that first week, I'm looking for toilet paper. I just want toilet paper. And I was kicking myself in the butt because the times I did go to the store, because I wasn't taking it so seriously, I didn't stock up on it. I'm sitting there I have time. I'll come back. Go back the next day. There's none. Going store to store to store. And I'm sitting here I went and I'm looking at the food box I gave my client. And this is where it's people aren't realizing how it's trickling down. I go to get the food box that I usually get for my clients. When I go to get these food boxes, they are decked out. It's almost like they received a week of groceries. They're getting a gang of fresh produce. They're getting things that were frozen, eggs, whatever the case is, dry food. I go there and they have it set up outside. So that way we're not in a building. They're boop. They don't even usually have to show my badge, and I fill out a piece of paper and do all of this stuff, fill the paper out. They're just okay, go ahead, go get it. We're not even caring if it's true or not. We're not double checking nobody. We know people need their food boxes. Meet them a little bit. I sat there and I looked at it, and it consisted of just one little box of dry goods, a bag of chicken, a bag of oranges, and eggs. And I sadly was oh, wow, at least he got some eggs. Go to the store, you can't find any eggs. These people are sitting here buying all of this stuff, not thinking of the other people who at that time couldn't afford to do all of that, or didn't have the means to get there, or whatever the case is. Maybe they were sick. We don't know. You're not thinking of that. And then now we're seeing the strains on the food banks who are and it's just we just need a whole overhaul of the system. Just a whole overhaul of the system. Fisherman, I have a question. Do you think the Rewired Soul is lying about his addiction for clicks and views? I've been wondering because he makes a lot of stuff up. That's hard, Fisherman. So I have to say, in my own opinion, I feel one of the recent videos I reacted to about his cocaine addiction, I feel there is exaggeration. I don't think it's as deep as it is, but I'm not one to, and this is what pisses me off, because this is where we get into, and I was going to talk about them later on, but we'll get into them in a sec, right now for a second. This is where I get annoyed with Chris. This is why I say Chris and Trisha Paytas and all of those that play with mental health, they know what they're doing, and it's trash. Because this is something to where me and people who live with these disorders, who are struggling in recover or whatever, we know better. We understand what it is feels like to not be believed or to be doubted. We've seen it, things like that. And so we're not going to sit here and say, oh, that outright, oh, that man's lying, he's full of shit, right? But And they take advantage of that. They take advantage of that. You have trash ass Trisha who takes advantage of mental health all the time and of other, marginalized communities, because she knows that no one can truly sit there and say, well, she doesn't feel that way, or maybe that's really the case because we don't know her. You're taking advantage of that. And I believe Chris does the same thing. I feel if I go off my gut, and if I go off of just what he, provides to me, because again, it's the internet. I don't really know what he's like in real life. I think he's trash, but it's the internet. So I'm always going to give you just a little sliver of the doubt. But I truly think that he exaggerates. I think he does do it for clicks and views, especially right now. Like, I've been paying attention to getting his little channel going again. He dropped under 80,000. Now he's back over almost hitting 81,000 now. Like, you're doing little things, you're titling things off of smaller creators that you're seeing are being successful. Like, I said it in my one video, I know what creator you're, what's cocaine like, or what's taking cocaine like? What do you think? Who do you think he's copying? Who do you think he's copying? So I really do feel like, yeah, there's a sliver of truth to that story, but I don't think it's as bad or as exuberant as he said, because if it was the case, we would have heard about it a long time ago. But he makes sure to drill into our heads, and I'm big on following patterns of behavior. Like, you were big on sitting here drilling into our head, opioids and alcohol. Now all of a flipping sudden, it's, I have this here, like, and just like, come on now. Like, and that was like, I'm in recovery from that substance. Like, I've been sober from that substance for, God, 11 years now, maybe even longer. And when you hear those stories, there's parts where I'm like, okay, that makes sense. But there's other parts where I'm like, you come on now. Like, so it's like, I don't want to say, yeah, he's outright lying. I feel he exaggerates. And I feel him and Trisha Paytas are the same in taking advantage of things that no one can truly say, no, you're full of shit, because we're not going to try to doubt you. That's still, to me, because if I outright just deny you your story, your addiction story, or your mental health story, I'm continuing the stigma, because I'm sitting here basically saying, no, because it doesn't fit this narrative, or it doesn't fit this box or whatever, you're lying. And I don't want to say that. So exaggeration, definitely. I really do think that. That was kind of a long rant. Sorry. Let me see what y'all been saying. So Sarah, come on. You was behind on the Lou rule. Yep. Swear we warned people it was an issue. They're being so selfish, taking all the necessary stuff. Facts. Our supermarkets have had to remove their food donation bins. Yeah. I've had to go to stores where they've moved like the laundry detergent. I went to this one store and I just was getting like a little things that I needed because they had bread. I needed bread because my youngest, he just eats bread like it's like nothing. And I was like, oh, and this other lady was like, or they saw the laundry behind the cash register and they were like, oh, so this is where you have it now? Like, she was like, no, I just moved it up here because I literally in one day had $150 walk out the door because they were just stealing it. And I was like, really, people? Like, oh, bad. Rich lot. Yes, Trish. Trisha's trash. She does things for views, money. She doesn't care. She doesn't. I live with schizoaffective disorder, and I know people with DID. Trisha Paytas doesn't want either one. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Fisherman. And she doesn't. That's where it's like, and I shared, like, I have a parent, like, to see someone use that as a way to get views, and I witnessed the altars, I witnessed the switching, and I was young, you guys, like I was 12 when this happened, and I'll never forget when they had different names. I'll never forget when one knew who I was and the other ones didn't. One was the same age as me at that time. Like, I'm just gonna say it, it was crazy. And I sat there and the first thing in my head was like, what the hell is going on? Because of course I'm 12, I'm 12. But I'm like, what is happening? And I went to my other parent because during this time is when I was dealing with all the substance abuse in my family and things like that. So I ended up going to live with my other parent and to sit there and talk to them about it. I was like, yo, did you know that they have, and back then it was called multiple personality disorder. I was like, did you know they have multiple personality disorder? And my parent was like, huh? I was like, yeah, I met whoop, whoop, whoop. And they were like, oh, that was real. I was like, yes, it was. And I remember giving that parent their medications, things like that, and what happened if they didn't take them and if they weren't staying in their treatment. And I was telling my other parent, and it was something to where they were just like, oh my goodness, it was very eye-opening. And so to come online now to see Trisha Paytas hop her little butt on the internet and do that, like, that's so demeaning. That is so trash. And that's why it's like, I didn't even want to talk about her, but I had to, because it's like, as a child of a person with that diagnosis, that is not okay. And I know you don't care, but I don't want anyone else to get the idea that that is okay, because honestly, the person who is living with that disorder knows it's not okay. This is something that they are working on. It is something that they have to accept and go to treatment for, and understand that that is something that could be with them for the rest of their lives. And you, as a child who that's my parent, and it was something that scared me to where I even thought that, like, oh man, what if that happens to me? Because I didn't understand, again, 12, to sit here and grow up and get that understanding, to know that that was a reason that I even got into this field, and to see someone just play and blatantly lie about it. Like, who knows? We don't know for sure. But with Trisha, it's like, I just don't believe a word that comes out of her mouth. Like, I can't. All the Red Soul does is copy from other. Dude doesn't have a unique bone. He doesn't. Like, and I'm just sitting here like, really? And I saw people on Twitter, and they were showing comments that these people were leaving that belief everywhere that comes out of his mouth on video, saying, well, he said she has this, that's why. Like, okay, so like, I get, no, just because he said she has that does not mean anything. Just because Trisha says she has that, like, come on, are we at this point where we understand that doesn't mean anything either? Like, yes, there might be some mental health concerns there. I just don't know if it's exactly borderline personality disorder. I'm not going to say that's what it is. And that doesn't excuse the trash behavior that she does. Like, I can't. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate you. Hey, Kim. Let me see. I saw, let me go back up. Casey, I'm curious, do you believe there's a difference between substance abuse disorder and addiction? I want to do more research for a vid because I think I've been wrong all these years. Yes. For substance abuse disorder, I look at that as just for substance abusing substances. So like drugs, alcohol, things like that. Addiction, that can be applied to anything. Addiction, you can be addicted to anything. And whenever you look up the definition, addiction is a very broad definition for anything that, could cause some disruption in your life because you continue to do so, or whatever the case, and you continue to do so even though you don't care about that disruption or whatever the case is. So yes, there are two different things. Substance abuse disorders came, if I'm correct, I'm trying to remember, because I remember when the DSM-5 came and switched everything up, those came as a better way to explain substance abuse addiction. Substance abuse disorders is as, and with disorders, you can look at it as it has a genetic component to it. But to me personally, substance abuse disorders equals substance abuse addiction. But substance abuse disorders can cover past addiction, so you could be in recovery, or current active addiction. Addiction covers all other types of things that could be addictive to you: eating, shopping, all of the, did you get what I'm saying? I hope that makes sense. But yes, there is a difference, to me anyway. And I believe that is most likely the consensus. Laundromats are closed here. Oh no. What? Man. Oh, I hope you can just do it. Oh, the old fashioned way. But it's cold. Isn't it cold where you're at, Fedora? Isn't it cold? I'm sorry. Dang. It's like, see, these are the types of things where I'm like, I have to check in on you guys, see how you guys are doing mentally, because that would then in turn, like, kind of tell my brain that I just need to wear this outfit for 1 week straight, like when I'm depressed, and then next thing you know, like, that's everything online. So bought some stuff. Oh, I'm glad that you were able to do that, because I know it has to be cold where you're at. Kleenex, yes. Yes. Joe asked, hey, living with a parent who has DID, did you feel the experience made you have to grow up quicker than you should? Now, when it comes to, honestly, my childhood, I felt like my whole childhood made me feel like I had to grow up quicker than I should because I had parents with addiction. I was in the foster care system for a little bit. I was hopped around a little bit. So I always felt like that at that moment with this parent, I was newly living with them. So I only had been with them for a little bit. So I was still learning who this parent was because for like my backstory, I grew up mainly with my grandparents from the time I was about 14 months old until about 11, 12. So when I was 12 witnessing the DID, that was just me actually for the first time living with my biological parent. It was eye-opening. I already felt like I had to grow up by myself basically or grow up quicker because this was a parent who also had substance abuse concerns, mental health concerns. I was the only child at that time able to live with that parent because my other siblings were in the foster care system. And then I ended up going into the foster care system. So honestly, that whole part of my life, I feel like did make me grow up faster. And will never forget when I went to go live with my other parent for the first time ever in my life after leaving foster care, being told that as well. But that is also something that I'm working through still now that I know a little bit better about mental health and like child rearing, things like that. That is something that we have kind of enforced on children, on girls, is to grow up faster because the second we have a period, the second that, we're able to conceive, we're considered little women and we need to be taught and treated like that. So but yes, I think that whole situation, during that time frame did have me grow up faster, which is some stuff that, I'm still working on because I did some crazy stuff because of that. But I feel, but yeah, it did. But I think that was also a very eye-opening thing because, again, I tell you guys, it did stick with me. It was something that stuck with me, realizing I had a parent with mental health concerns that made me be like, down the road. And then seeing that parent become sober and actually work in mental health themselves, I was like, well, I'll be damned. It made me do that too. Because I kind of lived, it's crazy too. And it's something that I've noticed, and I don't know if those who have kids who are here, if like you're still with your partner that you had the child with, or if not, but it's something that I kind of trip out about is that even though I wasn't with both of my parents for very long in my lives, I'm very, very similar to them. Like I wasn't around you too long to pick up your habits. How am I so similar to you? Like, and then I look at my oldest son, because me and his dad, we're not together. We haven't been for years. He's not even part of his life, asshole. Anyway, he's just like him as well. Like I look, I'm like, oh my God, your dad has never been around and you look like him, you act like him. So I feel like with my own personal history with substance abuse and mental health stuff, and then seeing how they recovered and they were able to get sober and do all of that, like it was a big motivation too. Welcome all new people if you're here. Welcome, welcome. Yes, I'm afraid about the suicide rates potentially spiking if it hasn't already due to social distancing and all of the jobs being gone. And that is one of the biggest things. That's why I reacted to like Chris's last video where he's giving, well, not his last video because he's done so many about the coronavirus. It's not even funny, but I reacted to the one where he was giving tips because he was talking about doing online therapy. And then I wanted to make sure people knew that like clinics are open. Like my clinic is open. I know most mental health places are open. Crisis line, if you have one, your 211, they're open to help people who are dealing with this thing. And that's why they basically told our butts to shut the hell up. They're like, oh, you guys think you're going to be off? No, you can do therapy over the phone. You can contact people. They're opening different lines. Like I said, capitalism is trash a lot of times, but this was a good time that it's been working out for us because they're coming out with new like law rules where it's like, yeah, you can do therapy online. You can do therapy FaceTime because we use iPhones at work. You can do therapy over the phone. Like I want people to know you can reach out to your mental health establishments in your area because they are most likely open. If there are psychiatric urgent cares around you, contact them. And then I know it's like, I don't want to say go to the ER. Usually I'm like, the ER is the last resort. But if it's like push to the wire, like contact your crisis line. There is a crisis line for usually everywhere. Or like I always tell people in my actual description box, I usually keep, I didn't put, dang, look at ADHD just kicking in right now, guys. Did I put my description box down there? Fedora, I'm all telling you to put links in the chat. I don't even think I put it in there. Oh, goodness gracious. I'm sorry if I didn't. Like, whoo, look how quick I just, squirrel. But there's always, in any of my videos, I put a link down for the suicide hotline that you can contact as well. I want everyone to know that mental health places are open just as much as the physical health, like the ERs, the hospitals, some of the urgent cares are open, because we know this is a shitty time. Like, this is a shitty time for so many people, and we weren't ready for it. We weren't prepared. This isn't something, it's kind of like it's just a shock. And you can see it hitting so many people, except for the super, 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 super rich. But you see it hitting so many people in different, economic moments. But even our low income people are getting hit the hardest. And I want people to know you can contact your local mental health crisis phone number, mental health clinic, contact your health insurance, say, hey, if you have private insurance, like, what do you guys offer? Where can I go to get help? Because I don't want anyone to feel like, and this is only if you like, go out to the clinic if you feel okay, if you're not, exhibiting symptoms. But if you are sick, look into apps. When I was with Blue Cross Blue Shield, we had Blue Care Anywhere, and this is only for the US. I'm sorry, guys, in UK and the UK and Canada, you guys can tell, like, leaves down in the chat any of the info for your guys' localities. But like out here in the US, I used to have Blue Cross Blue Shield, which is a private insurance. They have Blue Care Anywhere. Their app allows you to do therapy and medication services. That's how I do mine. I do mine online because it's easier with my schedule to schedule it when, because I'm always out in the field. Their Cigna, they have an app with MD Live. You can do psychiatric and therapy over there. Amwell is a big app that does a lot of different insurances that you can do urgent care, psychiatric, and therapy over there as well. There's different ways. I want people to know that they can take care of their mental health during this time, because it's like I tell everybody, not everyone's mental health is set up for us to sit inside all day. I know me personally, I'm happy I'm able to still go to work and get out of the house, even if it's just going to my office for a little bit, because for too long, it's going to be like, I don't want to do shit now, and I don't want anyone else to fall into that as well. Oh, thanks, Joe. I have a question. The Rewired Soul claims people can be addicted to no, fisherman, like, dang, I didn't even no. I know that's bullshit, but I've known a lot of people with issues like me quit taking their meds to become manic. And I've been guilty of that as well, fisherman. Not going to lie, just full transparency with you guys. There's been times where I've stopped taking it because I enjoyed being hypomanic when I hit my mania, because I'm let it go, let's go, don't need sleep, but then when I start feeling crappy, I'm able to stop myself, like, okay, there's something wrong, and I take my medications and I stay on my medications. I've been consistent with my medications recently, but I do understand that. I don't think people can be addicted to depression. I don't think that is the case at all. I understand where I do believe sometimes it can be used as a crutch for, enabling certain behaviors. I've seen it. I've had clients tell me they couldn't do certain stuff because they were SMI. I was like, that's not an excuse not to do your dishes. Like, you have a chore. Like, it was in the rehab, and I'd be like, hey, girl, or because it was women, I'd be like, hey, you have dishes to do. What are you doing? Oh, I can't. I'm SMI. Like, no, that's not an excuse. That's not an excuse. I think a lot of people do use it as a crutch, but I don't think anyone's addicted to it. No, they're not addicted. Oh, we know it. I feel that a lot of people are still trying to figure out what their mental health is. We're still, trying to break the stigma. We're still trying to educate people. And there are plenty of people out there who don't understand mental health, period. I was one of those for a second where I went and got a diagnosis, said, okay, cool, and just kept it moving and said, well, now I know, I understand, I get it. And I really didn't. I didn't, when I kept actually falling into my cycles was when I was finally like, you know what, I need to go get help. And that's when I started participating and taking medications and, going to therapy, because I got tired of that cycle. But there's people out there that who were just like me, who did that or continuing to do that and just don't know any better. So they do continue those cycles. It's not because they enjoy it, because I don't think anyone who's been depressed, especially to where it's like the low depressed, where you might be seriously thinking of hurting yourself, and trigger warning to anyone out there watching, but I don't think anyone enjoys that. I don't think anyone sits there and says, oh, and I know addiction isn't enjoyable, but I don't think anyone is like, yeah, this is just life. I'll just be like this. Like, no, if they could get help, I know a lot of people, if they could get help and it was something that was feasible for them, they would, albeit it be medications or therapy or both. They would. So I don't think people are addicted. I think that's just his way of being controversial. I think that's his way of just trying to start a conversation, get attention on himself, because he knows those are two stigmas that people like to play, that you enjoy being addicted to substances or whatever you're addicted to. You enjoy that because, yeah, sometimes it is fun, but people play into that. And that's why you don't want to get help. And then he also played into, oh, it's also in your head. You know, it's in your head. You are addicted because you choose to be that way, and you're choosing to be depressed because you enjoy being depressed, and that's trash. And that's why it's like, I'm never going to let off his neck. I'm never going to let off his neck. I'm not. I'm sorry, guys. I will never let off of his neck. I might find other things I'll talk about and stuff like that, but I'm never letting off his neck because you know better. You know better, and you have a lot of subscribers. Like, yeah, they might not all be real and active, but you still have people who are believing you and going onto people's comments and swearing to goodness what you say is law. And that's, no, I don't want anyone to sit here and think you could be addicted to being depressed. That's trash. That is so trash. Like, and people take it to, can that be an addiction? I don't think that's an addiction. I think people stopping their medications to become manic, because again, like I said, I've done that before. I think that is just a part of our diagnosis. That's a part of being, for me, I'm bipolar. That's a part of me being bipolar, because I get to the point where I might subconsciously be thinking, I don't need to take these medications. I'm better off the medications. I'm fine. I know more. I'm better. I can cope. And I feel better when I'm not on them. It's just a part of something that we are going to have to continuously to work on, because I feel like that is just a part of the diagnosis. Whatever your mental health concern issue is, or your diagnosis, your concern, whatever you want to call it, it's something that I believe we will continue to have to work on for the rest of our life. You get the skills, but it's something that you are enacting and working on daily. And that, I think that's just a lapse in that. I think that's a relapse in my mental health whenever I stop taking my meds, because I think I feel fine. Oh, I enjoy the mania. I feel like I'm more productive. That's the diagnosis talking, you know? I personally believe that our kids take part of us with them, not only genes, but like part of our way we are. Like, yes, I agree, Joe. I agree. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to keep up. I don't want to skip over anyone, but I do agree, because it's crazy. It's crazy. Let's see, where am I at? You mean he stopped talking about his favorite, right? He did stop for a second. We'll see if she does anything to keep him going, because I think she likes that too. Like, oh, who else is going to talk about me? She addressed him before, so I know she didn't forget who he is. Like, Are now doing Skype phone. That's nice. Doctors in Quebec, cool. That's awesome. I'm seeing a lot of doctors are starting to do that. Thank you for all of the info in the chat, Fedora Chick. I appreciate it. Charging anyone. The U.S. shouldn't be charging anyone for COVID-19 tests. Yeah, welcome to America. Like, I'm like sitting here trash. Then there's this lady, there's a news report that this lady who didn't have insurance is already receiving bills for her treatment for the virus for $35,000. What? And then it's just, I sit here and that's why I tell people, just pay attention to what the politicians are doing, pay attention to how they're enacting, because it's like, I'm still watching these companies. I was weak. My apartment complex sent an email out like, hey, hit up your legislator and say, we want you guys to cover, to stop evictions so people can get, I'm like, you guys could just do that yourselves. Like, I get, we should have legislators doing that, but these companies out here like, hey, hit up the legislators. I'm like, hey, you're the company itself that I pay. How about you just tell us like, hey, your guys are good right now. Like, it's just ridiculous. The people are still trying to profit. My car company ain't going away. Like, they're still calling me like, hey, guess what? Your car payment's going up. Like, it's just, we don't care. It's so annoying. Some people find they get more done when they are in a hype. Yeah, I was the same. I am the same, not gonna lie. A lot with bipolar do. When they feel good, they figure all is well. Yep, that's me. That is me. And I know better. And that's where I know a lot of it is the actual bipolar disorder. I know that I know better. I know I need to take my medications. I know I need to stay consistent with my medications. I tell everyone else to stay consistent with their medications. But there's some times where I'm just like, you know what? I'm good. What am I think I'm tripping. I remember I had that thought not too long ago. I was like, why do I keep taking y'all? Like, I'm like, I'm okay. I got my coping skills. I can do this. And then I was like, you know, I can't shut the hell up. You know better. And I sure did. Taking it, yep. Sometimes hypomania feels like a godsend. You ain't ever lie, Casey. You ain't never lie. At least the beginning, and then the end always sucks. Yep, because then when I come, boom, that's where it's like, whew. My friend has bipolar, and she will admit if she feels she's falling behind with housework, she'll come off her meds. Yep, yeah. That's hard. That's hard. But then I also use how clean my house is as a signifier of if I'm starting to become depressed, because I have had it beat in my head, and it's something I probably carry throughout my adulthood of my cleanliness and how I don't like shit to be dirty. And it's funny because my partner, he catches it too, because if it starts getting a mess, he's like, we good? We okay? And I'll be like, no, I'm having a moment. Let me just get up. So I try to get up. And that's something I tell people too. Like right now during social distancing, I know some people are finding putting a schedule together helpful. I'm one of them. Me trying to have some type of like schedule during the day, because I do have a lot of cancellations. I still try to find a certain time to go to the office because, you know, I have to work. But for those still at home, like find certain times that you do certain things during the day to kind of keep you motivated, keep you going, have something to look for so we don't fall into that. But yeah, I'm guilty of that too. I definitely understand. But we tend to mentally slap her back. Oh, nice. See, good support. Rewire your soldiers. Yeah. I didn't get on bipolar meds till last year. Before that, only SSRIs, which is awful. So I use drugs to stay manic instead of falling into prayer. And that's the thing. Like, again, I always tell people to make sure, you know, you talk to your doctors. But one thing my psychiatrist told me, and I don't know if you're bipolar as well, Casey, I think that's what you're sharing as well, if I'm woo. But my doctor told me, with me being bipolar, he said that just SSRIs or antidepressant medications aren't good or don't work that well for those with bipolar depression. So like, I'm not even on an antidepressant. He won't put me on one. He gives me a mood stabilizer. I'm on lamotrigine, Lamictal, and an antipsychotic, which is my Seroquel. Like, that's why on Twitter I'm known as quetiapine queen, because that's my medication. And it's been working pretty good. I remember when he had to up it. I'm on a pretty low dose of the quetiapine. But I always, you know, check in with him and let him know, like, hey, I'm pretty good right now. Don't need to up it right now. But that's what he told me too, as soon as we started. Because when of course, for a lot of us, we seek help or we get services when we're in the low places. That's why I want people to know right now, if you're in a low place, we are available. Contact your clinics, contact Crisis Line, phone numbers that we shared in the chat that Fedora Chick put in there for me. I appreciate so much. Contact them because they are out there to help you. But damn, I lost my train of thought. What the hell did I say? See, look at ADHD all the time. All the time. But that's what I did go see services. And I was seeing him, and I didn't start on medications when I was hella depressed. Hella depressed. Bad depressed. And he was like, no, yeah, I could give you that, but for those with bipolar depression, you know, it doesn't work that well. So here's what I'm giving you. So that makes a lot of sense, and that's something that we follow a lot we follow up with a lot at work too. And if they do give them an antidepressant, a lot of times I've noticed it's towards the bipolar 2 category, because the way and it depends client to client, but they usually do give it more often to bipolar 2, but it's always backed up with something else. It's not just, you know, a antidepressant. They give them an antidepressant, maybe another antidepressant, or maybe another mood stabilizer, and then something else too. So it's never just that by itself. It really is a forever battle. It is. What happened, Fedora Chick? What's going on? Hope you're okay. Or you just responded to something I said. I heard they're eventually going to start doing CV-19 testing trucks eventually, since they're figuring out easier ways to get tests to more or to get more tests out there. Yes, I heard that they're starting to, since the FDA had approved the most rapid test now, it should be coming out pretty quickly, but they need to hurry up. Just hurry up. And hey, Nova. Hi, I'm late. Sorry, I apologize. They just need to hurry up, though. They really do. Like, this is showing us. And you know what's funny is I was weak at the fact that we were like called trash by another country. We're called trash by other countries all the time. I know. But when they sat there and released their thing talking about how bad our infrastructure is when it comes to like medical anything, like this is a wake up call. Like this shouldn't have been happening. It shouldn't have been happening. I'm so sorry you lost your job, Nova. I'm so sorry. And that's why I want everyone to know look into local resources in your area to see and pay attention to see what like type of help you're able to provide. If you need help with food banks are open. I know they're under a lot of strain, but with food banks are open. If you ever catch yourself needing mental health help or anything like that, contact your insurance, look into your local mental health clinics. They're open. Usually if you're watching me, you might be into mental health. So I want to make sure you know that's available to you. I'm so sorry, honey. I hope it gets better. It's going to get better, but I hope you take advantage, apply for any unemployment that you can. I'm paying attention to the government, see about this little stimulus package. You're supposed to be sending us money. I'm hoping your state is looking into like if you're renting. I know mortgages are being held off right now. I know student loans are being held off right now. But I'm hoping if you're renting, they're helping with evictions in your area right now. I just send you nothing but love, positivity. Like, oh my God, that's so shitty. But it's going to get better. It's going to get better. Okay, let me go. See what I missed. I'll be okay. Oh, we're happy to have you around always, but just shitty circumstances, Sending you love though. I'm on Lamictal too. When I started working on my BPD, I thought someone was playing a trick on me. Like, what is this stability? Holy shit! Facts. And this is something I was just sharing with a client. I had gone to see to deliver a food box this week. They're asymptomatic. They're still going to their other treatments, things like that. And we were sitting back talking. She was having a cigarette and she was sharing about her little life. And she's like, you know what? Like right now I'm good, but sometimes I know I want to engage in that chaos. And I was telling her and I said, we're so used to chaos sometimes. A lot of us have been living in chaos. If we're talking about addiction, if we're talking about mental health, if we're talking about a combination of both. We get so used to that stability feels a little weird at first, and I myself personally have caught myself, if there's a little bit of chaos, if I'm on a little bit of fear, I feel like I work a little bit better because that was something that I was so used to. It was something that like, if things were a shit show, I'm good. Like, okay, I can handle this then, always on that constant edge, but now that it's like things have gotten stable and it's been stable for a while now, it's like, okay, I'm starting to like this better. The chaos. Yeah, a taste of it every once in a while, especially if I'm manic or something, and during that time, yes, that chaos feels a little good. But when that stability comes back, it's like, whoo, fresh breath of fresh air. And I was telling my client that as well. I'm like, you're going to sometimes want that chaos. You're going to sometimes enjoy a little bit of that chaos. But once you start really enjoying and love sitting in that stability, like nothing will ever compare. Okay, Casey, bipolar. My doctors wouldn't recommend me to a mental health clinic for years. Wow. Now I'm in lithium. How is that going for you? How's that working? I am on bupropion. Okay. But I don't like I do. Nice. They either didn't help me or sent me. Yep. See? And that's what he was afraid of as well. He said that if I took antidepressants, they would do the opposite effect and send me to hypomania. Yep. Same thing. I was like, oh, please don't do that, because I was manic for like 4 months and I didn't barely sleep. Like I really don't. And this was the result, me being sad and wanting to hurt myself. Trigger warning. So like, let's not do that. Let's not go into those moments. Maybe, yep. And then fisherman, yes. Was schizoaffective? Yes. I definitely understand that as well. I've had clients who are diagnosed with schizoaffective, and most of the times we treat it as like schizoaffective. They treated it as schizophrenia, as if it was schizophrenia. So they weren't giving SSRIs. We had my youngest son's ADHD medication change from Ritalin to a slow release version of Ritalin. It's helped him majorly. Big difference. Nice. I'm glad that helps. See, look at y'all. And that's one thing is like, I don't want to dealing with, and it's crazy because I have to remind myself that I have ADHD, but that's where I tell people, and that's why I get on Chris's ass a lot, because when he's always just sitting here putting out, it's borderline personality, he needs to cover the fact that so many diagnoses out here, they cross-pollinate. A lot of the symptoms fit here, they fit here. And then if you combine two, then this is what this could look like. And so I will never forget when I was explaining things and I was like talking to my therapist, and she was like, oh, well, a lot of the stuff is because of your bipolar mixing with your ADHD. And I was like, I forgot I have that. Like, I forgot. And I hate when it's like, oh, we're just going to explain it away to one diagnosis. It's like, no, it could be a whole combination of the diagnosis playing together, and not everyone's combinations are the same. Like, that's where I get annoyed with him as well. Just like, ugh. Citalopram, nice. Thanks. Welcome, any noobs. I thank you guys for joining me. Like Fedora Chica said, give a thumbs up to this live if you enjoy it. We put some resources in the chat. And usually after we're all done with the stream, I will have some resources in my description link if you need some mental health, or you know someone who might want to check in on their mental health during this time of self-distancing. But we're just kind of checking in, seeing how everybody is doing, how we're feeling, what's going on, and talking a lot about mental health, because that's just what I do. Giving you love. Bye, Jail. Stay safe. Hit me up if you need to talk, always. Sorry if I'm slow to respond to y'all too. I promise I don't be ignoring y'all. Just mess. But hit me up on social media. Anybody ever wants to hit me up and talk. Twitter, Instagram. I try to check every once in a while, but don't be afraid, especially right now. Like, with all of this, I know people need to talk. Hit up Straight Talking Fedora Chicks Discord. Throw your Discord up in here, Fedora. Go ahead, because her Discord is awesome. I know a lot of y'all might already be in there, but anyone who comes by to watch, check out her Discord. I'll try to put the link as well in my description, because over there, they be talking, they be engaging with each other. They have moments where they're bitching with them. They have a whole rant section where they're bitching, complaining, sharing however they're mad, whatever they're mad about, and there's someone there to always listen. They have a whole channel talking about life, talking about what's going on, memes, music. So you can check out her Discord too if you just want people to connect with as well. And check out her channel. I'm shouting you out again. And check out Joe's channel, because she's awesome. And check out Casey's channel, because she's flipping awesome too. Like, let's all check each other out and keep ourselves entertained watching each other's content, because that's what we have to do, something to keep ourselves occupied, right? Lithium has helped a lot. Having issues now. Okay, so now it's just time for you to find that good little dosage again. Okay, if I'm honest, since subscribing to your channel, I've learned a lot about ADHD plus meds. Give me the confidence to tell my son's doctors. Nice. Yay, I'm so happy. And you know what? And that's nothing against people. And I thank you. Love. And honestly, I have nothing against amphetamine-based meds. You know, my clinic, we don't really push them too much. They try to find other options. But I've worked in, when I was working in rehabs, we didn't do those for ADHD. You did non-amphetamine based. So I look at it, there's an option for everyone, because I'm never going to med shame anybody. Ever. Like, never going to med shame anyone, because what works for someone might not work for another, and what works for that person might not work for John down the street. So I'm so happy that that's helped you out, because there's so many different options out there. And I think we just need to remove some of, like, there's people that will always try to shame people, like, oh, that's just glorified. Yeah, that's just glorified meth. Like, hey, it works for some people. Sometimes if that's what they want to use, let them use it, as long as they're taking care of their mental health. I'm not going to sit here and pull a Chris and be like, oh, if you use anything, that's you're not in recovery anymore. As long as you are taking your medication as prescribed, you are having that relationship with your prescriber. You're actually seeing a doctor when you're changing your medications and doing all these things. I have no issue, no problem. I'm glad. I'm so happy. It's a bitch. They act at the same time. See? That's awesome. There's so many different meds. That's why I'm on bupropion too. I didn't want to be on amphetamines because I liked meth too much. See? And that's why I think it's awesome. See? That's why I would never med shame. Just like for me, when it comes to like anxiety, I personally won't take anti-anxiety medications because I've had history of using Xanax not properly. And I know that they could be bad on your system, especially over a prolonged use. And then I've also used benzos for my anxiety, and they didn't work as well. And one of them made me feel worse, and that was Boost Bar. Oh man, no, I can't take Boost Bar. Hydroxyzine worked really good for me with anxiety, but it was kind of like I had a moment with them as well. So I do other things to try to help take care of my anxiety, and just honestly taking care of my bipolar helps with it as well. But I've tried both, and then for me, neither of them work. But I'm not going to knock you if you need to take a benzo, and I'm not going to knock you if you take a non-benzo. It's up to you and your treatment, as long as you're taking care of yourself and you're following your medications and you're talking to a doctor. Coming up. Thank you. Hey, join her Discord. Oh, you're welcome, Joe. Always. I just don't want my son to fall into the possibility that his meds could cause more issues on top of his ADHD. He's only 8. I've got no issues, like Kay says. Yep. You're on Boost Bar. That mess made me feel like crap. Ooh, no. I was like, So, yeah, no, I couldn't do it. I can never say propranolol. I can never say it. Could never say it. Never say it. Like, no. And I like, and that's one thing about meds. And that's, it kind of comes across, if you can tell that I am very passionate about like psych meds and stuff like that, is, let me tell you a little bit. When I was working in the rehab, my last rehab, I ended up being the med room queen because of them being there for so long. Because they're there, it's a 24-hour facility. We help them self-administer their medications, make sure they're not mouthing them, stuff like that. And so I had to keep track of all of our clients' meds, making sure they got refills, making sure they had the right count, intakes, things like that. Our med book was like this thick. Well, let me see if you guys can see it. Like this thick for all of our clients and their medication. So I know it was crazy. Like my love for the meds came from that, because now I'm like, oh, this med, yeah, I know that med because clients took this one and I know what's assigned for this one. And then because I was a little nerdy and I wanted to know more, I would take extra trainings about psychopharmacology to try to understand which meds worked for this and why. Like, man, so that's why, like, I will never have any hateful med talk, because back in the day I did. But that was because at that time I was working with such a high needs demographic. Their dosages, because they were so high needs, had me scared, had me thinking that's just what everybody takes. And then when I started paying attention to like general mental health again, I was like, oh wait, no, almost anybody could benefit from taking medications for their mental health when they need to, you know? So that's why I'm so like, meds, yes, like, I don't care, just take them, make sure you're taking care of yourself, you know? Hey, Gary, welcome. Glad you're here. How are you doing? How is your self-distancing doing? How are we feeling? I know I know that you're unable to work, like you're disabled, so you probably were home a lot anyway. How are we coping with everything? How are you feeling? Boost Bar was horrible for me. Same. Like, see, I couldn't. Like, couldn't do it. Maybe Boost Bar is what's wrong. No, Casey, it works. There are plenty of, like I said, ex-clients and stuff like that. There are plenty of people it works really well for. They love it. It's just, didn't work for me. Didn't work for a couple of us, as well as can be under the circumstances. Okay. I won't, Gary. I won't, just because that's what good does that do? You know, how am I sitting here saying I'm breaking stigma, I'm trying to educate, I'm trying to help people feel better, and then if you do this, oh, like no, no. And I'm not all against, you know, holding people accountable, because I will with my clients, I will with those I consider friends on, you know, YouTube or on social media. I will be like, hey, let's just be real, blah, 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 blah. But for the majority of people, if you're trying to learn about mental health and you're watching these videos, the last thing you want to do is leave feeling shittier than when you came here. You know what I mean? Like, no, I'm not going to do that. If you need to take certain types of medications, as long as you are sitting here working with a prescriber, you are following those medication orders, what they say you should be taking, not overtaking, undertaking, I have no issue, because it's your treatment. Who am I to tell you your treatment doesn't work for you? You know, right? Meds aren't one fits all, Joe. That's right. We are all different. What works for one will not work for the other. Hey, Rox, welcome. Welcome. How are you doing with this social distancing? Seeing how you're doing, checking in on everybody. See how you're feeling. I don't know why I work on a song. That's what I do. Sorry, don't mind me. That's why I never went to NA. They do a lot of pill shaming too. Really? Or maybe try a different location. Maybe the different location. Like, honestly, when it comes down to the 12-step meetings, a lot of times from just my experience I've gone to a few myself, but then I've also taken clients as well. We've had to go to different ones to find a really good fit. Maybe that one just wasn't a good fit. Maybe that was just not a good little place for you, maybe to be a home meeting. Definitely. Have you tried other ones? Because that's trash. That's not cool. Meds confuse me mainly because the US uses different names for the one compared to the UK. Like, I think Xanax is diazepam. No. Diazepam is something different, I think. Ooh, don't let me start forgetting my generic names. Xanax is crap. Klonopin. See, y'all messing with me. I used to know them by their generic names. Oh, diazepam is crap. It could be Xanax. I can't remember. And I don't want to. But yes, I get what you're saying. Yes, we might have different names for some stuff. At least in small. Well, the premier just brought us new news. It's official. He's not opening schools until May. So I'm not going to be shocked if that's where we go. To May. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Gary. Xanax is alprazolam. There we go. See, I was drawing a blank. Diazepam is something different. That's something different. I'm sick, but trying to stay positive. Meds don't work for me, so I have a couple of panic attacks. Oh, I'm so sorry, Rox. But fine the rest of the time. Oh, I'm sorry that you're sick, but I'm hoping you get better soon. Meds don't work for me. That doesn't help. Not even like fever meds? Nothing? Are you busting a fever? I hope you're keeping up with nourishments. Try to at least have some electrolytes in your body. Drink you some broth. I don't know your way of eating. If you're vegetarian, vegan, or you eat meat, some type of broth could help. Oh, I'm sorry. I hope you feel better soon, though. Before, he allowed restaurants to keep their dining rooms open as long as they only operated at 50% capacity. Yeah, no, see, that's a good step. That's a good step, though. Yeah, I'm hoping, are they still allowing them to do to-go? Because I know that's a big thing we're doing, is to-go. Valium, see, thank you. Clonazepam, boom, drawing a blank. It's like I'm off of work, y'all. It's like as soon as I don't have to log in to work, I don't know. But yep, y'all right. Diazepam is Valium. Klonopin is clonazepam. That's why I remember clonazepam, Klonopin, because clon. Boom. Look at them little trips. Thank you. Only Tylenol and Advil. Especially because you said Advil. Isn't there something going around that the virus doesn't like ibuprofen? I'm happy it's not the virus as well. I just hope you get a swift recovery. Is Strattera? Yes. Strattera is, and that is they use that for ADHD. I like it. That was one that I was thinking about using. But yeah, it's Strattera. I just don't know the generic name. But I don't know if it has generic names because I know it as Strattera. To keep my sanity, made a room for myself to escape in because need alone time. Oh, so you have a lot of people at home? Yeah, I can understand that too then. Delivery, takeout, and drive-thrus can still operate. Nice. Tylenol, is that paracetamol? No. Tylenol is acetaminophen. Acetaminophen. Acetaminophen, something like that. So now only places open are supermarkets, pharmacies, and liquor store. I'm weak at the liquor store. But yeah, that's us too. So most of the places are, at least where I'm at, supermarkets are closing mainly at 10 p.m. Pharmacies are still open. Liquor stores are still open. Gas stations are still open. Little stores like the Family Dollar store, because they can kind of operate as a grocery store, are still open. But a lot of them are closing at 8 or 10 p.m. Liquor store in the time of need. That's what one of my friends had me week on Facebook because she works in the field too. And she goes, I'm kind of concerned for the people who are just stocking up on all this liquor. But she's like, but I think some of y'all are going to have a good time. And I was like, mess. Mess. No, just my fiance, but I like being, yeah, I understand that too, Gary, being by yourself sometimes. And then especially I think a lot that messes with us too is the fact that we feel we have to be inside, that feeling of having to stay in. Like we're seeing the government tell us like, yo, y'all need to calm down. We're self-distancing, stay at home as much as possible. That feeling can mess with us. So it's like, I need an escape. I need to dip. Like I said, if it wasn't for work, I would be going stir crazy because me sitting still. But my partner already tells me, he's like, you can never just sit still. Like I'm always just moving constantly, like ADHD, y'all already know. And then I'm always just like, I need to go. And so luckily I'm able to go if need be. But if I couldn't, or if they ever say, no, you guys have to strictly be inside, I would have to do that too. I'm going to be like, I have to go to the living room. I need to go here. I need to sit in my car. Like good coping skill. Oh, nice. My daughter's hours are getting cut, but they are trying to not affect their income. I need this to hurry up, and I need the government to, acetaminophen. There we go. Boom. I need the government to hurry up. Like I know a lot of people don't want the government to interfere too much or whatever the case is, but they're supposed to be working on the stimulus package to help people not be too hurt financially, because this is scary. This is what I'm really freaking out about, is the whole financial side of it. And it's sad that that's what I'm freaking out about, but I'm freaking out the financial effect that we're going to have. I said this on Twitter a few weeks ago, like maybe last week. I was like, it feels a lot like 2008-ish. Like I know y'all remember 2008. Like, yeah, I was a little young then, but at that time I was still working and stuff, couldn't go to work, wasn't able to make money like that. Like I was dependent on social services. Like I was getting food stamps and access at that time. Like I'm feeling like this is where we're going into again. And it's scary because I remember how hard it was then. Imagine now. Like our schools are closed. I'm just putting you up here because you know what? It's easier to read. Our schools are closed, cinemas, leisure centers, tourisms. Yeah. And that's what it's a lot of it is going by state. So it's like my state, luckily the governor said no more gyms, but then we're seeing a lot of people are going to national parks now. And I'm like, oh, that's cool, but don't be in groups, people. But like the gyms, the park rangers aren't working. Most of the main public places are closed, but mainly supermarkets, things that you can get, like your essentials, are open. Casey said, I'm used to isolating myself. I hardly ever leave, but being told I shouldn't leave. Yes, that messes with me. It's like that, usually I don't want to go anywhere, but now I do. Now, because you said something, I want to, but I don't, because, That's what I'm worried about too. That's it too, right there, Rox. I'm worried about rent. And you missed it earlier. I was telling them, like, my apartment complex sends an email like, hey, reach out to your legislators. You know, they're supposed to be voting on like this bill out here in Arizona to help stop evictions, to fund like landlords, things like that. And they're like, hit them up and let them know to vote on this on Monday. And of course I did. I hit them up. I emailed them. Only heard back from one of my legislators, but I was happy to hear back from him. And he was like, I'm going to try to do this. I was like, cool, whatever. But then I'm sitting here looking at the email like, I know dang on well y'all got the power to say, hey, y'all, let's not, if you can pay, pay. But we're not going to sit here and try to rush you to eviction process, because out here they don't play. Like, oh, like people right now, what is it, the 22nd? If you have not, like out here, if you have not paid your rent by this time, you have gotten your notice to go to court. And at least, like, even our courts are kind of like, oh, well, we don't really want to run them, but you need to call the courts to see. No. Like, yes, legislatively, we need something, but I would love to see these more of these corporations who are landlords, or like, I'm not expecting private landlords. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it'd be nice, but I'm not expecting you to, because I know people's different financial situations when it comes to that. But these big corporations, like my complex just got bought out by a company that bought out the complex next to me and the complex down the street and another complex down the street. And the way you could tell is they painted us all the same color. Like, where is your initiative? You could literally say, hey, don't trip. Don't worry about it. We know a lot of people are, affected by this. This is happening right now. If you can pay, pay, but don't think we're just going to force you out right now. And they did it. Of course not. I'm still waiting. I'm going to keep looking. Feds and province here are also working on package too. I hope they all go through. UK government are putting in place to pay up to 2.5K per month of wages, but we also have universal credit, which is the benefit system. If people, oh, nice. But I think that's awesome that they're willing to do that too. The 2K per month of wages. That's awesome. I know that's not going to be a lot for everybody, and I know it's not going to cover everybody, but it's one of those things where it's like, at least it's something to help, it's just something, at least it's something. Last thing I saw in the news is they're talking about 3,000 up to 3,000 per household or family or whatever the case is for us. So I'm hoping that they just need to hurry up. I'm sitting here like, yo, you see the news, like the longer, and it's just all this politicking, but I'm just like, just come up with something, but something will be helpful. And I'm glad that they're doing 2.5. I know I was happy to see 3,000, up to 3,000 for us, because that's a good amount, I think, because before they were only talking about maybe 1,000, and it's like 1,000, that wouldn't even cover anybody, some people's rent for a month. Like, what's going on, America? America, that's literally what I think of it. I think we should do like France. Let's see what she said. Issued an edict, free rent, utilities, and deferred taxes across the board. See, none of this, oh, we're just delaying till July. But this is where I said I'm paying attention. I'm paying attention. I am paying attention, because this is showing me, like, I am paying attention. They're supposed to, like, we're looking to Italy. We need to look here. But are you really? Because it shouldn't be a question of whether or not people are going to be getting evicted. It shouldn't be a question of paying your taxes. It shouldn't be a question of, well, at least, and that's one thing I will give, or it shouldn't be a question of like, yeah, right now we have, our internets aren't getting cut off. Our cell phones not getting cut off. Our utilities aren't getting cut off, but you're still charging us. And what if none of this gets resolved in the manner that you guys are thinking? And now people are in debt to these companies. What's going to happen then? Are you going to sit here and say, let's erase all of this debt? I don't see America doing that. I don't. And that's where I'm scared. And that's where I'm like, what are y'all's coping skills? What are you guys doing to cope? What are you guys doing to keep your mind off of things? I saw someone said they write. What are y'all doing? Are y'all just watching YouTube? What are you guys watching on Netflix? Like, what has caught your eye on Netflix? I need some suggestions. I am going to be watching Joe, Horse Girl. I've been meaning to catch up on that. I've been getting distracted. I get distracted easily, if you couldn't tell. I get very distracted. Like I fell into Love is Blind. Then I fell into 100 Humans. 100 Humans just came out. I already finished that. Good. Like, what are you guys watching to keep you guys entertained? I think universal credit is good, but it usually a 4 to 6 week wait. That's what we're complaining about too. It takes too long. Imagine how long it would take. It would take it a quarter of the population apply at once. Yeah. That's what I'm having issues too with is how long it's going to take. They're like, oh, it still could take a month. Like, oh, that's very helpful. What are we doing? Like, come on now. Do it as fast as possible. Like I've seen other options where they said they could go for the US, like they could give the info or give the money to the Treasury and of course work with the IRS. So that's why they're like a lot of the times they're encouraging people to file their taxes if they haven't, because if you've already filed your taxes, yeah, they're not going off of this year. They'll be going off of, I think they said 2018. They wouldn't be going off of 2019. They'd be going off of 2018 for your family and stuff like that. But they're telling people to do that because if you get direct deposit when you do your taxes, that's a quicker delivery. So it doesn't have to take back in 2008 where we were waiting for checks in the mail. You know, they could direct deposit us to that way. I think that would be a great plan. And I think that's something they should implement everywhere if that's what they do with you guys too. Oh, rocks, drawing, painting, and watching tarot on YouTube. Nice. See, I love y'all artistic people. I do, because I am not artistic at all. I personally am going to be taking the time in between dealing with my child, trying to get him, you know, his little education. But my little thing of coping is I like to get uber organized. I do. So I'm going to be working on like tweaking my schedule, figuring out content for you guys, because I know a lot of people are going to have a lot more free time on their hands. So trying to figure out content and figuring out my Patreon content, which reminds me, I'll have a Patreon video coming up today. It was supposed to be on yesterday. It'll be up later today. Just stuff happening. But I'm gonna be doing that. I'm gonna get uber organized. I've already did like a big spring cleaning in my house, but I plan on doing like another ultra haul because I want to, there's a certain space in my house over here that I have literally, that's my cat, sorry. Sorry, cat freak out. Don't mess with that. Yeah, you're gonna make it fall over. Don't mind me. But there's a little area where I have like my dining room table chairs, and like we have a random ass box for like his car's stereo system. I want to turn that into like my little studio area for now. Cause I was trying to move this year, but that's not going to happen. Not with everything going on. So I want to make that into like a little studio thing. So I'm trying to plot that out. Like that's how I cope. I cope by becoming like super like diligent and schedule and then I've also got to get back into reading because I still have series that I need to finish. I have a book on my bed that's been laying there for about 4 months, so I'm gonna do that as well. And then I still need to catch up on like, you know, and of course YouTube. Like I've been catching up on people I've missed because it's like literally you miss. What was I was gone for like 2 weeks earlier this month or end of February earlier this month, and it's like I missed everything. Like so there's so many videos I want to catch up on. There's shows I want to watch. So that's kind of how I cope. I kind of go back into like what I do when I'm depressed, which is like watching TV, reading, and isolating. But it's also more focused because it's like, okay, figuring out, you know, my structure and journals and things like that. Exactly. Canada, I doubt will do that, though. There are groups circulating petition to the feds. And that's sad that we have to doubt like that. Sad that we have to doubt like that. Oh yes, Horse Girl. Yep, go be watching it. You'll get a review because I think it's gonna be awesome. Let's see here. Ooh. She watches tarot. Okay, Casey. Tell me why. I just got into Daybreak last night. I just got into Daybreak last night. I was watching it this morning as I was getting ready to see y'all. Had to turn it off. I was like, okay, you know, getting ready to go live in an hour. Let me turn this off before I get distracted. That show is hilarious. I'm actually enjoying it for being, you know, is it like a YA show? I actually enjoy it. I just was watching it. That's so funny. Tiger King. I've been saving that one. I saw that as a new documentary and it looks very interesting. I've been saving that one. I have. I'm gonna watch that too. Definitely doing spring cleaning. Yes. Like I did a deep, like, as soon as it was like, oh, self-distance, like we recommend y'all trying to stay home for 2 weeks. And then the kids were announced for 2 weeks they weren't going to be home. Like I had stocked up on my groceries because again, they said 2 weeks. So that's why I'm like, I'm hesitant. I have to get more groceries by the end of next week. Like I have to. So I'm like, I'm gonna have to get up early. Like early, me getting up early. But I did like a straight deep disinfectant. Like it's never really super deep because I already, like, y'all, how many of y'all already keep, disinfecting stuff in your house? Y'all keep bleach? Maybe you keep Pine Sol, cleaning products in your house. Thank goodness, because I'm one of them as well, because I would have been screwed if I wanted to buy more at the store because they were gone. It's like, y'all, really? Really? Y'all don't have bleach? Y'all don't use bleach? Y'all don't use Pine Sol, Fabuloso, Suavitel, none of this stuff to keep your house clean? Nothing? Yeah, I know Suavitel isn't for cleaning like that. It's laundry. It's fabric softener. I know. But come on. Like, but I already, like, I did a whole disinfectant. I was just like, you know what? I'm going to disinfect everything because the kid's going to be home. Kids, y'all just, had them all just consistently, wash hands. Don't care, wash your hands. They ain't doing nothing, wash your hands. Like, I've been hardcore, but there's this one room I really need to hit again. Outside of, like, trying to make, like, a little, recording area, I got to hit my boys' room. It's like every time I clean it once, they just go back in and mess it all up again. Looks just like I never touched it in my life, like ever. Let's see. Max, he's still right there staring. Like, it's my Oscar. I'm his person. Cats have people sometimes. I'm his person. So everywhere I go, he is with me. He was in my last video just acting a fool. Let's see. Oh, they're talking about tarot readers. I might have to look into them. Sheba, I was hearing about her. Might have to look into some because some of them be like, interesting. Daybreak, the jokes are hilarious. It's a white. I thought so, but it does have adult humor. I thought so. The little girl is hilarious. She's like my favo right now, outside of Wesley. I love Wesley, of course, because he's just so cute. I'm like, aw, I love that you guys are showing queer folk on TV now. Like, it was so cute. Let's see. Another piece of news from my province. Premier also just announced social distancing will be enforced. Nice. Now, I do get a little scared when we start enforcing things with police and stuff. Little conspiracy theory, little maybe paranoid, I don't know. Like my governor said, he's enforcing National Guard. I'm like, ooh, let's keep an eye out on all this enforcement stuff, though. Like, I'm all for, making sure people, hey, go home, but let's keep an eye out, More like wearing gloves at the pharmacy, gloves wiped down with Lysol swipes. I've got bleach, yep. But I have a ton of stuff to clean. I also had half a huge bottle. See, look at that. Prepared already. You were just prepared already. That's my point. I'm sitting here and okay, you guys. If you guys don't know, or you can't tell, I can be kind of an a-hole. And I'm sitting here going to the store, and like I'm going to 99-cent store. I'm just going to like little dollar stores because I'm like, can I find toilet paper? This was the time I was in the search for toilet paper and paper towels. And I'm sitting here and I'm looking at people with 6 bottles of, disinfectant cleaner and stuff. And I'm like, this is where it was first starting to get bad with the hoarding. And I'm like, first off, That's kind of rude. That's messed up. 6? You need 6? And then I'm loudly saying, like, what about the other people? Did you guys not clean before? You shouldn't have to run out and buy 6 bottles of cleaner, especially when there's people like us who are just going out there to just stock up real quick. Maybe it was our normal shopping. You know, at that time, it was my normal shopping because I wasn't taking it seriously. If I wanted toilet paper, if I wanted cleaning supplies, which I needed, you know, I was lucky enough to where I went to a Family Dollar the like day before everyone started tripping about toilet paper, which is where I was mad because I should have got toilet paper there. I went there and got me a thing of bleach because I was like, oh no, I need some bleach because I use bleach when I clean. Like, I was like, I need these things. And you go back and it's like, what did you guys use before? You guys didn't have, like, I get if you didn't have none, you go get one. All right, you ran out. You're getting low. But 12 bottles, you're standing there with a little hand cart with 12 bottles of cleaner. I can't condone that. Like, no. Seems to be some weird collection cleaning item. I know a lot of people with cupboards full of this stuff. They aren't struggling with anti-bac cleaning right now. What the heck is Zoflora? Is that like a cleaning stuff? See, this is where I'm like, other countries be having different stuff. She's good. Oh, good. We rented The Hunt and A Big Statement. Ooh, I don't know if I've seen that. I wonder what is it? I might have to look that up. I was just watching a thing on Netflix, The Platform. There's a movie called The Platform. Netflix be slapping, okay? Netflix be slapping with these shows and movies from other countries. I have been like, it's awesome what they do with, you know, voiceovers and captions and things like that. And The Platform, I think it might be coming out of Spain. I don't know for sure. I didn't look to see what like the original language was, but that was definitely a message. It's gory. I'm not going to lie. It's not for the faint of heart if you don't like seeing people die and stuff like that. But there was a message in that too. And it was good. Bye, Rox. Thanks for stopping by. Miss you. You keep your head up. Keep checking in with us. Everything will get better. I hope you feel better. I definitely hope you feel better. Sound like somebody sat there and hit that car. Oh, my girl kitty's here. Juju, fat mama. It's a fat mama. These are my little things I do to them. Yes. I have a feeling in my gut there will be riots. That's what, and then see, that's what I'm saying. See. And when you sit here and you see people who are running out there, they're talking about how ammunition is going up. Like, people are sitting back afraid of that as well. Like, if the law enforcement, they're talking about the military. There are people out there who will take that as like, oh, they're trying to take control of us, and go ballistic. And that's the last thing that we need to do. And I hope people, you know, are sitting down and using common sense and being like, okay, this doesn't mean this is zombie land. This doesn't mean that we're going into straight like the Walking Dead moments where we have to go and fend for ourselves, killed or be killed. It's none of that. It is, let's just sit our asses at home for a little bit. Let people, you know, self-quarantine. Let's social distance. Let's flatten the curve. Let's get people who are sick, if they're going to show symptoms. If they are sick, that they're able to recover. And those of us who won't show symptoms and might just be carriers, to just not keep spreading it. Like, let's use common sense, man. Fisherman, holy shit, I wonder if they're going to enforce that shit in Ontario. This is why I be paying attention. This is why I be watching, y'all. I be watching. Oh, stores here are limiting everything to maximum of 2. Some places, and I like that maximum 2 per customer. Some places out here, we're still doing like 4. Like, you go early in the morning and they're like, oh, you can limit yourself to 4 this or 4 that. But a lot of them, like the bigger stores like Walmart and stuff like that, they are saying like 2 per customer. Oh, The Hunt. Okay. I was looking at that. Yes. I remember that one. I want to watch. It looks good. It does look good. Oh, so it sounds like Zoflora is Pine Sol, what we call Pine Sol or Fabuloso, where it's a cleaning product and you dilute it in water and it smells good. So like right now I have the blue Fabuloso that smells like a clean river. I think that's the name of it. And then they have like the purple. Okay, I get it. Kitty, yes, my kitties. Oh, they're sitting here begging. Well, don't get in the cup. Come on now. Don't get in the cup. She's my girl is Midnight. She's my little cutie pie. She's the sweet one. And then the boy is Oscar. I would pick her up if she'll let me, but she likes to run. Oh, my kitty. Oi, can you say hi to my kitties? Say hi. This is my kitty. This is Midnight. It's your mama's. She ate it. Look, she is not up for it. You can see yourself? This is my mama's. I do nothing but black cats. Ugh. So Oscar, he is a black cat as well. She did not want to be up here. She is not one for love. She is the epitome of a cat. It is come to you when she wants love, which is usually because she's hungry. She's very food motivated. And then Oscar, he's up there. It's in my kitty. He's up there. He's food motivated as well, but he's just more love. He was, I got him from an old client, and they're a coping skill too, you guys. Like, I'm not going to lie. My cats help me feel good. There's moments where if I'm like too, like sad, it seems like they know and they come give me love, especially Oscar. Like Oscar, I'm his person. So if he feels like I'm sad or something like that, or if I'm having a moment, he'll come and try to just give some love and all of that. He can be annoying, but I got him from a client and they weren't able to take care of him anymore. So I was like, let me take him. And he's a black cat too. And I was like, let me have him. And they, because he's so people, or he's so into people, because like it comes, I guess, because they got him when he was really small. So they had to bottle feed him. And so that kind of makes him more susceptible to like human bond and all of that stuff. But there's my kitties. Those are my kitties. Oh, thank you. Joe. Yes, those ones. Okay. So yeah, pine saw like that. All right. Oh, it looks like your cat, mama's cat. Nice. And it's crazy. Like, I'll be tripping. Like, this is how I did not expect to turn into a cat mom. Like, my partner laughs at me because he was like, yeah, you didn't even want a cat. I didn't want no cats. Like, I'm a little allergic. Thank goodness, like these cats, after I had Oscar for a little bit, now I'm not like breaking out with little bumps and stuff. But so I wouldn't mess with them. But we had a cat when I was like in high school, but she was mainly my stepsister's cat. So her name was Pickles. She would run with them. So I always had dogs, and I was like, I want a dog. Well, as soon as like he came for my client, I was like, yeah, we're not going to keep him long. And ultimately he ended up being mine because they never came back for them. Never came back for him. Like she had a whole moment where she ended up being homeless and trying to find a place to live. And I was supposed to just be holding him. And then that just didn't end up ever ending. So I was like, I'll keep him. And then we got a girl to keep him company, all of that, cute little brother sister moment. And I never thought I would like be full cat mom. So I'll go out into the street, and if there's a black cat, I'm like, it doesn't matter how far from home I am. Okay. Does not matter how far from home I am. If I swear to goodness, this cat looks like my cat, I'm like, what you doing over here? Like, I do it all the time. And then now I even have my partner, he sent me a video this morning of a black cat by his job because he's still working too. So that's why I said like I wanted to check in on everyone, because we work in mental health. We are very blessed and very lucky. We understand the privilege for us to be able to still go to work. And he works at a treatment center. So he was at his treatment center. He saw a black cat and he sends me a video and he's like, look. And I was like, almost look like our cat. Like all the way over there. Okay, that's not our cat. That is not our cat. I had two black cats, brothers. Mom got them from a rescue center. I was 8. They were buddies, best kitties ever. Just don't tell my cats that. Right? And it's hard because I catch myself. I went to one of my clients, she had a boy cat. He was so pretty. And he kind of looked like a little mini lion, but blue eyes, beautiful blue eyes. And he wasn't fixed. So I was like trying to help her like find resources to get him fixed, because boy cats who aren't fixed is a mess. Like he was a living terror for the first 2 months he was in my home, because I didn't think he was going to stay. So I wasn't going to go get him fixed for them. I'm like, you get your cat fixed. But then I was like, you know what? Even if they do get him, let me do this for them. And they didn't get him. So luckily I have a fixed cat, but they're terrors. And so I walked over there and you can smell my cats. I know my cats are on there, and I'm sitting there and I go mush it to my cats, and I'm like, mush it to him. And he's just like, man, who are you? Like, that doesn't work for me. I was like, oh wait, you're not my cats. And so I tried to get over to pet him, and he got a little close, and I was able to just like rub his little hair. I was like, oh, you're so cute. And second I got home, my cats were on me. Like, especially Oscar being a boy, he was just like, the heck? What's this? Who? I was like, ooh, wait, I'm in trouble. I am in trouble. Fur babies are great for support. They are. They are. They are great for support. I love animals as any type of like, and I don't care what animal it is because I know people will be like, well, you know, emotional support animals are real. They are real because if it wasn't for these two kitties, sometimes I know my dog, when I used to have a dog before we had to rehome him, like I knew he would be like right next to me if I was sad. Like they know animals help. And then it's just, they do stupid stuff sometimes and you're like, ah! And you just feel instantly better. You just feel instantly better. I'm ready for cat. I am like right there. Like I be kissing my cats. Like, what am I? Like, oh, you want to have a little outside time? Like they're like my kids. Like I come home and they get greeted like my children. I greet my kids. I give my boys love. I sit there. My partner's always in the bedroom, so like he's the last person who gets greeted. But we're not like that anyway. I'm not one of those. You know, I'm not emotions. Ew, no. But I say hi to my cats. My cats get greeted as soon as they come up, and I'm just like, everyone gets their little attention, and then that's what it is. And if I'm ready, like I could add like more. The only people who stop me is my partner. My son said one more would be great. We should have 3. I was like, no, I don't know. Don't threaten me with a good time. See, there he goes. Especially when like right now, a lot of the shelters and stuff are offering like free adoptions and everything. I'm like biting at the teeth because I'm like, I get another pet. And then my partner's like, we don't need 3 right now. Just wait. Because I could literally a good foe. I could see myself a foe. And then I'm like, well, maybe 5. See, look at that. Shame. My younger cat congregates in the street with the neighborhood cats. They are friendly. I'm sure they are playing. And then I always see these two, like they're messing with the cats outside because we have so many, you know, feral cats around. Every once in a while, I'll try to feed them, give them some food because I know there were other people who were doing that, but I think they moved out. So every once in a while I will, but I don't do it often because they know they'll pay attention to where I live, and then they come and I don't need no. So every once in a while, but they'll sit there and they'll make sure these cats know they're here, and they'll run through the windows back and forth because they're outside playing. I'm like, And the girl Midnight, I want to get her one of those like leashes and harnesses because she's all for being outside. If I could just let her be outside and run, because we don't have like a patio or nothing. If I could just let her roam the world, she would, and then come back home. I know she would, especially because she is a rescue. I consider Oscar a rescue. They bought him from somebody, the original owners, but he's rescued to me. But she is a rescue. Like I went to the shelter and we picked her out, and I know she had a life before because it's like she is comfortable outside. She's like, "Ooh, doors open. Let me go. Let me go see." I'm gonna look. I will definitely look for sure. Crazy. And I be sitting there watching. See, that's how I know I'm a cat mom, cat lady in the making, or already in the making, because I'll literally be happy with cat videos. I'm searching like, little cat tips. Like, why is my cat behaving this way? I want to know their behaviors. I want to understand, get in their psyche. Like, oh man, this has been fun, you guys. This has been fun. Let me double check and make sure I ain't missed nobody. It seems like we all have different little ideas that we're going to do for little coping, making sure everybody's okay. I wanted to check in, make sure Tim. I just saw the fedora chick, tinfoil hat on, super tight. I can't help it. There's moments where it's like I take this so seriously, where I'm like, what y'all trying to distract us from though? What are you guys trying to distract us from? I feel like y'all are gonna do something kind of shitty, kind of messed up. What you distracting us from? But this was fun. I wanted to make sure everybody was doing okay. I want everyone to remind themselves, like, this is social distancing does not mean you need to cut off from everybody. Check into people. Check in, like Fedora Chick says. If you know anyone who is at risk or elderly or alone or anything, check in with them. This is the perfect time to check in. Make sure everyone, just see how everyone's doing. Lend a listening ear, as Fedora Chick says. And that's kind of what I wanted to do with this live stream. I wanted to see how everyone's doing. Remind you guys that, yes, this is a time that this can feel shitty, especially if we already are taking care of our mental health. If we already have, you know, people that we go see, not being able to go see them, there are options. If you haven't taken care of your mental health and this is kind of messing you up mentally, you feel sad, down, depressed, or anxious, or whatever the case is, don't be afraid to reach out to your local mental health specialists in the area, your mental health clinics, psychiatric urgent cares. Check out your crisis line. Check out the resources that'll be in my description box that are in the chat that Fedora Chick put up for me as well. Check those out. Don't be afraid to contact those numbers, websites, download apps. Don't be afraid to reach out and ask for help, because we are still out here to help you. You have those options. Those resources are available. I hope everyone is using great coping skills to get them through this time. If self-isolation is too much, take a walk if you are able to. Get some fresh air if that is something you are able to do. FaceTime someone if you're able to. I'm saying FaceTime. Whatever you use for video chat, text, phone calls. Read a book if that's your thing. Do artistic things. Write into a journal. I don't know, play video games. That's one thing I like to do as well. Whatever, look at, this is a great time to explore different ways of coping that will help you through this difficult time if you're having a tough time. Cleaning, I said cleaning's one. We had Metamorphosis Rocks. Check out her channel. She said that's a big thing for her. She's going to be doing. There are different ways to kind of help ease this pain that is social distancing, the anxiety that's associated with the COVID-19. I'm not going to spell it out like I do with the letters, that help us cope. I hope you guys aren't afraid to reach out and use those. Reach out to me on social media if you need to at Journey to Find K, Twitter, Instagram. I'll hit you up back as soon as I possibly can. Fedora Chick has an awesome Discord server that you can check out as well, where they have different rooms. You want to bitch? There's a room for bitching. If you want to just talk and connect to people and shoot the shite, as they say, they have a room for that as well. She had thrown that in the chat. She'll throw it up here again, and I'll also put it in my description box as well. If you guys can't tell, I'm about to get off of this live. But that's what I wanted to do. I wanted set up a chat or WhatsApp group with friends. Oh, that's cool. See, and there you go. Look at that. Look at that. WhatsApp. I don't even see. Look at, I feel old sometimes. I'm like, what the heck is WhatsApp? But that's something you could use as well. Definitely look into the resources. Like, thank you so much, Fedora Chick, for popping those up there. Check out her Discord. I do have a Patreon. A new Patreon exclusive video will be posted up later today for you guys. New exclusive content will be coming in the weeks ahead. I am planning, like I said, my coping skill is to get organized and to sit here and work on my schedule, my content. You guys will have a new video coming out tomorrow on my YouTube channel. Check out some of my favo people who are in the chat. I will link them down below in the description box. Check out my wonderful friend Jo. She has a great channel. Check out my well, she's my mod. Come on now. Check out Fedora Chick. She has a great channel, social commentary, mental health, chronic illness. Love her to death. Check out Casey's channel. Check out Metamorphosis Rocks channel. I mean, we're talking about social distancing. There's content y'all can watch, okay? I just named like 4-5 people who have great channels that you can watch their content and be entertained. So don't be afraid to do that. I will check you guys out later. I think, of course, always gonna give y'all plugs because y'all are awesome. Your content is awesome. I love y'all so much. I love everyone who has been watching. I thank you guys for sticking around in my life for this long. I mean, almost 2 hours. Every time I get on here, I be on here for almost 2 hours. And man, like I'd be like, I'm only gonna be here for a little bit. It's 2 hours, but we have such great conversation. I love this community so much, you guys. I shout out to Bipolar Corner for hopping in as well. I appreciate you showing some love and sharing what you're doing to cope. I thank you guys so much. Let's all stay safe physically and mentally. Sending you guys nothing but love and healing vibes. Hit me up on Twitter. Hit me up on Instagram. Journey to Find K. Check y'all later. Bye. Mwah, mwah. Positive vibes to you. This is coffee, you guys. I'm sorry. This is coffee. That's why I'm so hyped. But I will check you guys later. Bye, guys. Stay safe mentally and physically. Wash your hands. Wash your hands. I love y'all. Bye.